The sun has set, the air is cold. Something moves beyond the clearing. A faint whisper, a heavy footstep. Something's getting close. But have no fear, you should be safe. The campfire is going strong. Gather round, but be warned, they come before dawn.
Good evening, dear listeners, and welcome to They Come Before Dawn. I am your host, Laurens.
And I am your co-host, Rei.
Well, surprise there.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
Rei is back, and welcome to They Come Before Dawn. Hey, Rei.
Hi, Laurens.
It's so great to have you back.
I'm really happy to be back. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so if this is the first time you listen to our show, last episode Rei wasn't with us. Normally she is always my steady co-host, but yes, last week was a special episode in which I did it. Well, I flew solo. Yeah, it was a solo episode and it wasn't the same.
No, but you did a great job and it was a very interesting episode.
Well,
so
thanks. It was fun in an emergency situation. If something happens and you can't make it to the episode again, then I'll be sure to do another solo episode. Yeah. But I don't really like it to do it solo. So
okay.
I wouldn't want it to be a regular occurrence.
Yeah, of course. I'll stay. No worries.
All right. So Rei, this night's episode is another special episode because, as one of our previous episodes, the one we did about the Somerton man, I did all the research, and you had no idea what it was about.
Nope.
And on this night, we have decided to flip the script.
Yeah, exactly.
So you did all the research, and I don't know anything about the topic.
No, or at least not as much.
I have a bit of surface knowledge, but it's really limited. So what is the topic?
So tonight we're going to talk about Shoko Asahara, and his cult Aum Shinrikyo. So this episode actually needs a trigger warning. This episode contains heavy topics such as abuse, murders of adults and children, blood, violence, terrorism, gas, and traumatic events. Everything you're about to hear truly happened.
Okay. I have very limited knowledge about the topic. I know that it's a cult in Japan. The name heavily implies that it's Japanese.
It is.
It's a Japanese name. It's a cult. I think, aren't they behind a terrorist attack in a metro?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I know.
Indeed, yeah.
Without further ado, the stage is yours, Rei.
Thank you, Laurens. So we do have a lot to say tonight, so I will try to not speak too fast. But this might be...
Yeah, I'm here to slow you down.
Yeah,
to give you some breaks in the action and to make you catch your breath.
Exactly. So, Shoko Asahara. What started as a one-room yoga school, a place to meditate for spiritual practices, quickly became one of the world's most dark, horrifying, and evil cults, Aum Shinrikyo. But before we dive further into the cult itself, let's take a look at the early life of its leader, Shoko Asahara.
Okay, so the man is called Shoko Asahara, and the cult itself isn't called Shoko Asahara,
no.
It's
Aum Shinrikyo.
Aum Shinrikyo.
Aum Shinrikyo, yes.
It's probably pronounced incorrect. But
I'm pronouncing it correctly.
You're pronouncing it correctly?
Yeah. As far as
I'm probably wrong here. It's a very difficult name to say. Aum
Shinrikyo.
Aum Shinrikyo.
I don't know if my Japanese accent is...
It's probably
my Japanese accent is... I don't think it's... Is it? Do we have Japanese listeners? Please confirm.
We don't yet. But
I like to think that my Japanese is quite okay. That's not true.
It's excellent.
Excellent.
Okay, enough with the stereotypes.
I mean, we're laughing now, but we're not going to be laughing in 20 minutes or something.
No, I'm already I'm so excited. I'm so anxious at the moment.
Yeah, it's like you're excited to know what it's about, but actually also anxious because
it's like knowing
it truly happened.
Knowing there's a bomb, and knowing that the bomb is going to explode, but just not knowing when it's going to explode.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
Go on.
Asahara was born in 1955 under the name Shizuo Matsumoto. He grew up in a poor family of tatami mat makers in Kumamoto Prefecture, which is located in Kyushu.
Tatami mats are those typical Japanese mats where you sleep on.
Where you sleep and live on, basically. Yeah, and they're placed in a very specific order. And rooms are like, here we say a room is like so many square meters.
Yeah.
There they say a room is so many tatami mats big.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a measurement of... It's a unit of measurement.
Yeah, for rooms, at
rooms,
least.
okay.
So
in special...
not in modern Japanese houses, I guess, but...
Oh, I've also heard that tatami mats are sort of like a... I would say living fiber, but... Those things really, if the humidity is too wet, that they get moldy and fungus grows on them. And you need to replace them if the humidity is too high.
I wouldn't know about that. It sounds kind of logical, but...
It's just a random fact.
Yeah.
One of my random facts.
I think that tatami mats, tatami mat makers, I was gonna say, I feel like tatami mats are quite sturdy. So,
yeah.
I think...
Never...
But I don't know.
I never saw a tatami mat in my life, but...
I did, I think. But I can't remember.
No,
so.
doesn't.
Anyway. Asahara was born with infantile glaucoma, which made him lose all sight in his left eye, and eventually he also went partially blind in his right eye. So his parents sent him to a school for blind children, and he was actually known to be a bully there. He would beat other students for money. At the same time, there were other children there that would kind of see him as a leader because he was one of the only ones who could partially see. In 1977, he graduated and started studying acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
Apparently, those were pretty common careers for blind people in Japan. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I read. He actually wanted to enroll in medical school, but wasn't allowed because of his eyesight. Yeah. So he tried out for law school, but failed the entrance exam. 1 year later, he got married to Tomoko Ishii, who later changed her name to Tomoko Matsumoto when they got married. And after prison, she changed her name to Akari Matsumoto.
Oh, foreshadowing.
And they had their first child of eventually 6 together as well.
Is there a reason why she keeps changing her names?
Well,
I mean,
the first time because they got married.
Yeah.
Second
she took
time
his last name.
Yeah, and second time
she
for more.
Changed her first name then.
Yeah, for more to stay
to be
less
anonymous.
Related, but she was still like a follower. So yeah.
So, for privacy reasons.
Yeah, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Asahara was practicing pharmacy without a license and got caught after selling fake Chinese medicine in 1981. He got fined around $2,000 and got a short jail sentence. It's around this time that he got more interested in religion and spirituality. In his free time, he studied Chinese astrology, meditation, fortune-telling, levitation, and much more.
Where did he study levitation?
Well, he studied about it.
I mean...
About it, but...
Special school for levitation?
Oh boy, just you wait. He learned about many religions and spiritual beliefs from all around the world, as many as he could learn from. He started wondering what he was living for and if true happiness really existed in a world like this.
So he had an existential crisis at that time?
I guess so, yes, I guess. One day he was meditating at a beach and he claimed a god descended from the sky to tell him, and I quote, "I appoint you as the god of light who leads the armies of gods."
End quote.
End quote.
Or else the rest of the episode
is
got to be one huge quote.
He also announced that he had achieved nirvana, the ultimate state of grace for a Buddhist.
Good band, I know. Smells like Teen Spirit. Yeah. Kurt Cobain. Yeah, I get it.
And was ready to explain his religion to the world. He actually got a photo taken of him where he was levitating in the air in lotus position. Right. And I'm going to show you that photo right now.
I'm very interested.
I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
But now think this in the minds of someone who lived in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's obviously faked.
Yeah, but...
He's sitting on something.
Oh no, that's not what he did.
Oh, that's not what he did?
Oh no.
So is the excessive squinting part of it?
In a way.
In a way.
I mean, I guess.
Because
I guess not.
In the other picture you showed me, he is not squinting that much, and here his eyes are like completely closed.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in your explanation.
But he's not sitting. I mean, it's not photoshopped. It's in the 80s.
Did he jump really quick?
Maybe he did. So he claims he could levitate.
Okay.
Control the weather. Do telekinesis.
Yeah.
See the future. Read other people's minds.
Okay.
And again, much more.
That's he's like a modern day superhero then.
He's
He claims to be.
or a god.
Or a kami, probably.
Kami. Yeah, in Japanese.
In Japanese,
exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
I
good
know
job.
something about Japanese culture.
So Asahara also visited the Dalai Lama, and they got a photo taken together, which he later used to make his work seem more legit. So we're going to show you that picture as well.
Oh, it's the current Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no big deal. It's just the current Dalai Lama.
It is.
I don't really know. Yeah, okay, never mind. It's the current Dalai Lama. Doesn't matter.
In 1984, he formed the group Aum Shinrikyo and changed his own name to Shoko Asahara. The group was formed on the idea of turning away from worldly materialism and live a peaceful life with the help of yoga and meditation.
Okay, so how to make a cult 101.
Basically, but to be honest, I mean, this actually attracted a huge amount of young people.
Yeah, they all start that way.
Yeah, they all do. And those people felt unhappy in the competitive Japanese society. And
I can believe that. Yeah.
I mean, and there was this man who said, we can live with yoga and meditation and it's all peaceful. And of course they're going to join.
I can understand that it really could speak to young people, especially in that, how would you say it, swim or drown culture.
Yeah.
So I understand in the beginning that it really, that they really got a lot of members. Oh, I can see that.
And especially in the beginning, it started off as a simple yoga class. So to the followers, back then it wasn't a really big commitment yet. Like they kind of felt like, if I don't like it, I can just leave.
Yeah. It's just yoga.
Yeah. That's at least what they thought.
Yeah.
I
love the foreshadowing.
In 1987, he renamed his group and Aum Shinrikyo was born.
Yeah.
Aum Shinrikyo roughly translates to Religion of Truth or Supreme Truth. Asahara applied for government registration so that Aum Shinrikyo would be recognized as a legit religion.
Yeah, so we got it as a religion, so it's probably tax exempt.
But authorities were reluctant at first.
Okay.
However, after an appeal in 1989, Aum Shinrikyo was granted legal recognition as a religious corporation.
All right.
But what was Aum Shinrikyo? What did this cult stand for?
I mean, yoga class.
And why did it gain so many followers?
I mean, you just said so. Yoga class and...
Yoga class. Aum Shinrikyo was a quote-unquote religion that took bits and pieces from other religions, such as Christianity, Buddhism, Hindu, and again, more.
And more.
It was always more. Its beliefs were that the world would end and only they would survive.
Ooh, a doomsday cult.
Kind of like every cult ever.
Yeah, it's a doomsday cult.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ticking all the boxes.
Exactly. So Asahara told his followers that Japan would fall and that there would be a nuclear war. He told people it was very simple. Accept Shoko Asahara as your leader and you would attain salvation.
Ooh.
So it's getting a little bit darker here, right?
But it's still really in line with a lot of different cults.
Yeah. He wrote many books, and in one of them called Declaring Myself the Christ, he literally wrote he was the Lamb of God who could who could absorb bad karma from his followers.
Wow.
He told his followers that if they rejected him, they would be reborn as animals, which apparently is a really bad thing. Hungry ghosts or end up in hell. Their aim was to transcend their body and souls with happiness in their heart, and that could only be done the Asahara way.
Asahara way. It does have a ring to it.
I came up with that.
Oh, you came up with it?
I mean, I think I didn't see that in any article. So.
Alright. Way to go. He should have hired you as a PR person.
Oh boy, no, shush. To be part of his religion, followers had to go through an initiation. Asahara was considered pure, so people would eat from his plate, drink his dirty bathwater, which, by the way, costed $300 per bottle.
So the gamer girl bathwater thing isn't an original idea.
Apparently it's not.
Wow! There's nothing new under the sun.
No.
Wow!
Another one was drinking tea brewed from his hair. Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It get worse.
Oh, nice.
Drink his blood.
It's disgusting. Yeah, it's just disgusting.
Yeah,
it's just disgusting. I would have said it's not that disgusting as drinking someone's bathwater or someone's hair.
No, it actually is.
But it's also just bodily fluid, so
yeah,
it's really on the same line. It's just disgusting.
It is. And to top it off, the initiation wasn't free. Some followers paid thousands of dollars for it.
If you need to buy bathwater for $300 a bottle, I can really understand that they'll pay thousands.
One person claimed to have paid $8,100 for the blood initiation.
Wow.
There were many other types of initiation, such as living underground for a few days.
Okay.
Weird. Yeah. Being submerged in a hot bath, and sadly, some people actually died.
Yeah, that's pretty
during
dangerous.
These initiations.
That's pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Your body temperature rises and you could literally cook to death.
Yeah, but also living underground, like it wasn't just like living in a cellar. It was like in a very small space, so people
being
would
buried alive.
Suffocate. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the cult covered it up by secretly cremating these people. Murders, yeah.
Wow. Hey, cool religion.
But yeah, if you did survive till this point, you are now a part of the cult.
Wow.
Yay!
Hey.
Woohoo! So now what happened once you were an official member of the cult?
You gain superpowers, right?
No.
I really thought giving that much money.
You know, even for getting superpowers, I would not do that, you know. Drink someone else's bathwater.
Yeah, okay.
Drink his blood.
Yeah, okay, I can understand.
Get submerged in a hot bath. No, you know you can keep your fucking superpowers. No.
If you could pick your superpower.
Super strength.
Super strength.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really more of a concept. My superpower.
Oh.
My superpower would be the ability to fill stuff.
The ability to fill stuff?
To fill stuff.
As in, never an empty cookie jar again?
As in, yeah, that's the concept.
That's cool.
Like, oh, I need some money. Fill your wallet with money.
Oh, wait.
Ooh, my glass is empty. Fill it with... But also...
That's actually really...
You're being
really
very
cool.
fucking annoying. Let me just fill your colon with shit.
Oh, boy.
Which would make you literally shit yourself.
Oh, no. That's dark.
That's not dark. It's really... How fucking amazing is that? That's the best superpower ever.
It was at first.
Started off great, nosedived so fast.
I hope you guys don't mind that we're like putting in some humor into this, because otherwise it would get really dark, because what I'm about to say
and it'll obviously be
is not funny at all.
It'll obviously be very boring if we'll just be here, sitting here, crying about a very, very, very difficult, dark topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
It's not like we find it funny. So yeah.
We just find each other funny.
I think you find yourself
wow!
funny.
That was uncalled for.
Let's continue. Members had to listen to certain tapes, and these tapes could go on for hours and hours and hours. And I will include a little piece of one of those tapes.
Yeah.
So that was like, what, 10 seconds?
Yeah, about.
Something like that. So yeah, imagine listening to that for hours and hours. And for the listeners, what he is saying is basically like, do good deeds, do good deeds, do good deeds, do your meditation, do your meditation. This pain is an illusion, all those kinds of things. It's brainwashing,
It's
basically.
just, it's
brainwashing.
Tape sets, it's actually something that it all goes back to a lot of different girls always use these sort of techniques. It really just hammers their stuff in your brain, like it really does brainwash you, but also breaks down your mental barriers. It really puts the cult leader on a high pedestal, which makes sure that whatever they say, you will do.
It
really fucking messes with your mind and brainwashes the shit out of you.
It does. So other things that members had to do. So not all members had to do all these kinds of things, but it's like a general
it's with a tier
idea.
Some members are more valuable than others and are higher in the hierarchy. Yeah.
So there was this electrical cap, which I also have a photo from.
Yeah.
And that is said would synchronize your brainwaves with those of Asahara.
Okay.
Yeah. You're forced to take hallucinogenic drugs, such as LSD. Some people would, take really high doses and not come out of the trance.
Oh, they would die of an overdose.
Not die or just be mentally...
Oh yeah, it would just fuck up with their brain.
Fried brains.
Yeah, fried their brain.
Not have sex was also a thing.
Okay, I'm not a fan of this call anymore.
Were you a fan before?
No, I wasn't a fan before, but definitely not right now.
Self-starvation, spending long periods in closed airless spaces. One woman apparently stayed in there for 2 months. Some were hung upside down. They were told this was a yoga technique.
That's so bad for you.
It really is. And last, shock therapy.
Okay.
So
wouldn't say that I'm shocked, but...
Oh my god. I was actually like, what the fuck? Ugh. So followers had to leave were encouraged to leave their families and live in the religious communities called Lotus villages.
That's also so typical, because it separates you from anyone close to you, and it makes sure that the only ones you can depend on is your abusers.
Yeah.
You're the cult leader, your abusers.
Exactly. These Lotus villages were all over Japan, and with the We Live in Peace and the Yoga All Day vision, they actually kept recruiting members, and a lot of them too.
Oh, it really sounds so peaceful.
Yeah, it
Lotus
does.
Village.
Yeah. It just they really gave off this image of we
Peace
live
and
in
harmony,
peace and harmony. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then once you entered, I mean, I can't imagine these people probably being like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do, and then they enter this cult, and then they're stuck there, and then they're like, what the fuck? This is not yoga and peace, and they can't leave.
Yeah.
But of course, there were also people who were like, this is really evil. I like it. By 1994, so 10 years after the cult was initially formed.
That's the year I was born.
Oh, true, yeah.
That's 26 years ago.
Yeah. So by 1994, they had around 10,000 members in Japan, and apparently over 40,000 members outside of Japan.
Worldwide.
So when I say this is a big cult, I mean it's a big ass
cult. 40,000 members total.
Apparently. So 50,000.
50, oh yeah, of course. The 10,000 members in Japan are there.
Apparently, yeah.
Wow.
Like the numbers aren't. It's different sources kind of say different things, but this is the
50,000.
Yeah.
So much.
That is, and of course, I think the members outside of Japan didn't all come to Japan, so I think that not all of them really knew what was going on. Like,
but still.
But still, indeed.
It's a lot.
So the cult appeared on numerous television shows, and they were just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, they're fucking huge. They're popular as hell.
The cult was also really successful at making money. And not only from new and wealthy recruits who would have to hand over all their money in order to be accepted into the cult, but also from owning and working in restaurants, discount stores, and factories. Like, they kind of had their own, I wouldn't say little villages, but like their own,
their own communities.
Well, obviously own community, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, what I think you mean is...
Like, they spend money where they earn money.
Yeah.
The cult created their own anime studio called MAT, which stood for Manga Anime Team. I say manga, but it's manga. Anime was gaining a lot of popularity in Japan back then. Now it's 80s. We're still in the 80s.
But you started talking about 1994. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but we're still in the 80s. We're still in the 80s. So it was gaining a lot of popularity. Like, right now, anime is all over Japan, even here. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Back then, it was already big.
It was more confined to Japan, and
definitely.
I mean, in the 90s changed a lot of it.
Yeah,
I think Cowboy Bebop's in the 90s, Evangelion's in the 90s, Pokemon's in the 90s.
Yeah, Naruto. Well, it was really at the end of the 90s, but still. It
really got big in the 90s and the 80s probably as well.
So, by making this anime, they actually recruited a lot of anime fans. And the anime was called Shuetsu Sekai.
Shuetsu Sekai.
I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I mean, I honestly do not recommend anyone goes and watches it.
Why not?
Because it's called propaganda.
Oh, it's just called propaganda. It really is just called propaganda.
I mean, it basically is.
Alright, so the story's not that great.
It's not the tragic story about Shoko Asahara. It's literally about Shoko Asahara being great and amazing. Blah, blah, blah.
It really.
So it's called propaganda.
Godifies him.
Yeah, kind of. Sure. I mean, I didn't watch it, but I'm just.
So it doesn't have a story.
I mean, I guess it kind of has, but I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't want to. Sure. I don't want to watch it. Not interested. So.
Okay.
Lots of people did watch it though.
Yeah.
So still recently. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, but okay, whatever. Anyway, let's continue. So by now, Aum Shinrikyo has gained a lot of attention and, like I said, a lot of members. But as with many things, the group also gained a lot of hate.
Yeah.
As mentioned before, some members, if not most of them, were encouraged to leave their families behind. They were not allowed to see or contact their families at all. This obviously caused family members who did not join the cult to grow very concerned. And more people were asking what happened to their family, but as expected, they weren't given any answers.
Yeah, they didn't have an opportunity to go find their lost loved ones.
Exactly. And this actually caused a growing outrage amongst Japan, and eventually an anti-cult lawyer stepped in.
Oh, this got to the courts.
Yes.
Okay.
This anti-cult lawyer's name was Tsutsumi Sakamoto. He had experience with other cults and wanted to take on Aum Shinrikyo. He made it his mission to rescue cult members and reunite them with their families. He started the Aum Shinrikyo Victim Association. He actually needed members to testify that they were led into the cult under false promises.
False pretenses and false promises. Yeah.
And that they were being held there against their will and or threatened. He needed those testimonies?
Testimonies, yeah.
He needed those testimonies in order to start a lawsuit against the cult.
Yeah.
He had to destroy the image that lured all these people into the cult in the first place.
So we are Sakamoto stans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is a picture of Sakamoto and his family.
And his wife and child.
Yeah. One of the things Asahara claimed he could do was levitating.
Yeah.
As he had this famous picture of him levitating in lotus position. Sakamoto sought a way to debunk these claims, and one of the things he did was actually he was able to get a blood sample from Asahara himself and have it tested for supernatural phenomena.
Oh yeah, so he has a supernatural phenomena blood tester.
Yeah. I mean, Asahara voluntarily gave it to Sakamoto because he was convinced that it...
That says so much about Asahara himself.
Yeah.
That he really believed everything he said. he really thought that he was a god and he could do all these things.
I mean, obviously, it didn't show any signs of supernatural evidence, and this was really embarrassing to Asahara. Like, he was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, what did he expect?
I mean, he probably... Yeah, the guy thought that he was a god.
Yeah, I mean, but... somehow he had to know that he was lying to these people, right? But maybe he actually got a god complex or something? I don't know, man.
He probably got so much mental issues at that point. Narcissism, like you said, a god complex. Yeah, it's something that you see a lot in psychiatric patients, that they obviously are not telling the truth, but that they believe it. But it doesn't matter. The man's not well.
The man's definitely not well.
Yeah.
Sakamoto got an interview with a local news station in Tokyo to talk about exposing Shoko Asahara and all the evil things happening within Aum Shinrikyo. But before this interview was aired, the network secretly shared this interview with the cult. And they pressured the news station to not air the interview.
Okay. So there's an inside job.
It wasn't even an inside job. It was literally the news station being stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
They literally were not even cult members. They were just dumb fucks.
Being idiots.
And I'm gonna tell you in a second what happened because of their
Oh no.
fucking dumb mistake.
That's foreshadowing again, but I don't like that one.
Soon after this, some of the cult members, including the chief scientist, got together to find a way to deal with Sakamoto. On November 3rd, 1989, the cult packed a bag carrying 14 syringes and a supply of potassium chloride and headed to Sakamoto's house. At first, they wanted to kidnap Sakamoto at the train station where he would normally take the train every day, but since that day was a holiday, apparently, Sakamoto stepped in with his family and did not show up at the station. At 3 a.m., the group entered the Sakamoto's family's home, and this is where things get graphic, so if you want to skip a few minutes, that's totally fine. They first turned to Tsutsumi himself, so the man. He was struck on the head with a hammer. They then got to his wife, Satoko Sakamoto, and beat her. At this point, both of them were still alive. The group then injected their son, Tatsuhiko Sakamoto, who was only 14 months old at the time, with the potassium chloride and then covered his face with a cloth. They then also injected the potassium chloride into Tsutsumi and Satoko. Satoko quickly died from the injection, but Tsutsumi didn't die as quickly and was eventually strangled to death. The family's remains were placed into 3 separate metal drums and hidden in 3 different prefectures, which is similar to like a state or province around Japan. Their idea was that if the bodies were to be discovered, the police might not link the 3 murders. Their bedsheets were burned, and the tools used were dropped in the ocean. The cult smashed the victims' teeth to avoid or disrupt identification if they would be found. The bodies were not found until 6 years later, after the cult's biggest and brutal attack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alright.
I had to practice this because this is where I literally... Are you okay?
I'm not okay.
Yeah. That is where it's heavy. It's really heavy.
It's really heavy.
And that's... By doing this, the cult hoped that it would stop other lawyers or journalists from coming after them. Luckily, this did not work. A journalist was able to uncover the disappearance of the Sakamoto family and link it to the cult. She was pursued by the cult but avoided being found. Tako Takimoto, a lawyer, was able to debunk the photo of Asahara levitating a lotus position. And he did that by getting into lotus position and literally just jumping from the ground. And that worked. Yeah. So, boom, photo was debunked.
Okay.
Asahara felt extremely, extremely humiliated by Takimoto and added him to the hit list.
No, come on.
Luckily...
Don't make me do this again.
Luckily, the assassination on Takimoto wasn't successful. He was attacked and hospitalized, but he did make a full recovery.
Okay. I'm still processing
the
family death.
I know.
Wow, shit got heavy really fast.
I know.
We're joking about it, and it's all fun and games, and then suddenly you drop that on me, and... Okay. Good that the other person wasn't
Yeah, exactly.
killed, but wow, no one should have ever do this. No one should ever need to go through this.
No, that's why I said this episode it needed a trigger warning.
The trigger warning is really well placed.
In 1990, Asahara, together with 20 other cult members, ran for a seat in the Japanese parliament. Yeah.
Okay.
Their campaign tactics were rather unusual. Surprise.
Yeah.
They wore Asahara masks, or elephant masks, and put on dance shows in the middle of Tokyo. I'm gonna show you a picture. I mean, if that's not fucking creepy, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's so disturbing.
That's really disturbing.
Holy crap, that's so disturbing. Okay, we should add that on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably all the photos you show me will be on Instagram.
I will put nearly all of the photos on Instagram, except for the graphics ones, but you can find those, if you want to watch them, on their website eventually. So I'm still updating the website with the case files, but eventually it will be on there.
Yeah.
Or you can also Google it, of course, so they're just on Google. I mean, it's not like they're super, super graphic, but there's blood, so...
Okay. I haven't seen those.
No, not yet. You will see.
I will see.
Obviously, it's not of the family. I mean, that would be very disturbing.
Yeah, okay.
So the songs they danced to included a constant repetition of Asahara's name.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Eventually, all of his candidates lost the elections, and Asahara accused the government of rigging the voting.
So there were multiple cult members who ran for a seat in parliament, and they all lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you a video of one of the dances they did within the cult. I'm not sure. I don't think this is the exact dance that they used for the election. But I'm just gonna guess it's something. It looked something like this.
Related to it.
And you can also hear this in the song, the constant repeating of his name. So yeah, you got the general idea there.
That was so
weird.
Creepy. Disturbing.
Yeah.
So we saw 3 women dancing.
Yeah.
And
like doing the exact same dance. It was like a very choreographed, like very I mean, it reminds me of North Korea.
Yeah, that's actually a very good comparison.
Yeah, that's what
I'm so interested in the women themselves. If I could have the opportunity, I'd really love to talk to these women.
Yeah, I don't know who these women were.
Yeah,
so
they were probably random cult members with some dance experience, but
to be honest, for that dance, you really don't need
it's
dance experience.
Very easy dance, but still,
it was weird.
It was so weird. To just have a conversation with these people would be so interesting. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be actually.
So very interesting.
So by now, more proof against Aum Shinrikyo came to light, but Asahara kept preaching that the end of the world was near. Asahara told his followers that the world would end in 1999, but later changed it to 1997.
Oh, okay.
It was
but we didn't get the memo.
No, we didn't. And I'm also just kind of like, the world's gonna end in 1999, and then a few weeks later, oh shit, I was wrong, it's 1997. Like, what was up with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why he did it. It was so he could quickly do what he wanted to do, I think.
Oh, no.
That's what I guess.
Not again with the horrible foreshadowing.
I'm sorry.
Stop it.
I'm sorry.
Just continue your story and stop foreshadowing.
He claimed the United States had plans to attack Japan, and part of the attack would include a poison gas.
That's the same. Jim Jones had the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I believe he told them... Well, there was a whole thing about a plane.
Yeah.
One of his planes of his followers, and then it got shot down, and I think he said it was the government, the American government, who was going to do it, and they needed to quit living to make it sound
Yeah.
good. They all needed to kill themselves
Yeah.
by obviously drinking the poisonous Kool-Aid. And that was because
Indeed.
the American government was going to, kill them.
Yeah.
They weren't even going to arrest him, they were just going to kill the whole cult.
Exactly. I mean, that's not what they were going to do, but that's
No,
what he
obviously
said they
not.
were going to do. So, yeah. So, eventually, a nuclear war would follow. I mean, that's what Asahara said.
Yeah, that's what. Back to
That did,
Asahara.
yeah.
Yeah.
And only 10% of humanity would survive. Of course, including the members of Aum Shinrikyo. Join us and you survive, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So the cult began to recruit experts on chemical and biological weapons. So people from the military,
Scientists.
scientists
Smart people.
from the military.
From the military.
And they built a facility where they would experiment with said chemical weapons.
I
Yeah.
think I know this part.
Yeah. In 1992, Asahara sent some of these new members to Zaire, and excuse me if
Zaire?
Zaire, probably.
Where is
I Congo.
Oh, yeah, Zaire.
Zaire?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, but thank you for enlightening
But
me.
it could also be me very confidently
Oh.
being incorrect.
So yeah, Asahara sent some of these members there after an outbreak of the Ebola virus.
Oh yeah, Ebola.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that is
been
actually
around for quite. That's
for
been
really
around
long.
for quite a long time.
Yeah, indeed. I was kind of surprised, but yeah,
Yep.
apparently. So they were ordered to go undercover as aid workers and collect samples of the virus.
Oh no.
Yeah. I didn't put much more research into this because
Nothing came up.
nothing came out of
Yeah,
it. I
it's
mean,
still a
at
horrible
least,
thing.
yeah, I mean, just, no. Just, no. I mean, I know what they would do with it, but I don't want to imagine it.
No.
So, continue.
It's not necessary.
Not that
didn't
what-
happen.
Not that what they did was
Yeah.
any better, though.
Stop the foreshadowing.
In the meantime, they also started collecting and putting together automatic rifles, but apparently
Machine guns.
automatic rifles.
Yeah, machine guns.
But apparently, they only managed to make one that was functioning.
So they're homemade guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's very strict gun laws in Japan.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, even the police don't have guns.
They also tried to recruit more members in Russia, hoping to get their hands on Soviet Union weapons.
Oh.
So yeah,
Okay.
that was also not very
Yeah.
successful. So, thank God. People in the neighborhood of where they were currently at, I did not find the exact location, but people in the
Maybe it's
neighborhood
good that the exact location isn't known.
maybe began complaining about the horrible smells coming from the facility.
Oh boy.
Asaha-
Oh, you mean in the neighborhood of where the laboratories were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Asahara told the residents that the US government had released poison gas in the area, but the people were having none of it and started collecting evidence of their own. And this was, I think, the facility, or one of the facilities at least.
Okay, this is just a bunch of buildings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Thanks for showing me a picture of a bunch of buildings.
you're welcome. They took photos proving that the cult was to blame for the horrible smell, but the cult removed the evidence and moved their facility near a sheep station in Australia.
What?
Yeah, they were suddenly in Australia,
They were suddenly in Australia.
or at least the facility was, not the entire cult. Obviously.
Okay.
There they tested out the
Crocodile.
experimental gas and killed 29 sheep in the process.
Well, am I?
I mean, I'm sad for the sheep
Yeah.
because it was actually really painful.
Oh no.
Yes, the poor sheep.
Nice. Way you put a bummer on us.
I mean,
It's already a big bummer this episode,
yeah,
but
it is.
now we're
It
killing
is.
sheep as well.
The gas they were trying to recreate was sarin gas.
Oh no.
And once they believed they got it right, they decided to test it out. Now, to quickly explain what sarin gas is, and note, I'm not a chemist, so I just literally got this off the internet, obviously.
Yeah. Oh.
Sarin gas is an odorless and colorless gas that was created in a lab in Nazi Germany in 1938. They created between 500 kilograms and 10 tons of sarin, but luckily it was never used during World War II.
It's such a big difference.
Yeah, I know.
500 kilograms
and 10 ton.
And
yeah.
10 ton.
Yeah, I find that as well. I was like, huh? But I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of irrelevant, but
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
wanted to share it.
It's a difference of 2000%, but doesn't.
Yeah. Sarin gas kills quickly and painfully. Did you know what it does?
Obviously. But maybe explain it for for the listeners who don't know what it is.
I did not know what it was and before this research. Do you actually know what it does?
I might.
Yeah. Okay.
I have an idea what it does, but I'm not comfortable with saying what it is.
Yeah, I was also really not comfortable with learning about it, but here we are. I want you, listeners, and Laurens, who already knows.
Don't make us imagine things.
I want you to imagine
no.
the worst cramp you ever had.
Imagine all the people.
Whether it was a stomach cramp, a foot cramp, a period cramp. Times that by 100 and it's in every part of your body. I can literally not imagine that.
It was just your whole body cramping up.
I mean, I have IBS. I know what fucking painful cramps are. Period cramps are a thing. Like, it gets painful. I cannot imagine that times 100.
And all over your body.
And all over my body.
So you're literally on fire. It's...
I honestly hope I don't ever have to experience that.
Your whole body cramps up and you die because of that.
Yes, well, it can eventually prevent air from going into your lungs, resulting in an extremely painful death.
You just suffocate because your body, you can't breathe.
And once in contact with the sarin gas, it can kill you in less than 10 minutes.
Oh, that's fast.
It's not said that it will kill you,
but it could.
But it definitely could. So, yeah.
Okay, let me just say, did not think that was what sarin gas did.
You thought something else?
I really thought something else.
Oh, what did you think?
I sort of like thought it was like chlorine gas or mustard gas that they used in World War One, which would just turn your lungs into fluid.
Oh, that's also very disturbing. But
oh yeah.
But I
don't know why, but once you start talking about just gas, that's the thing my mind immediately went to. Well, obviously, we live in Belgium and we have a huge history with World War One and World War Two, but more World War One. So obviously, that's the first thing that was said in my mind. Wow, wouldn't say it's a better gas or a worse gas. It's horrible.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, they now created or recreated this gas.
And they were successful in this. They did recreate this.
Exactly, except that it was apparently not odorless. But besides that, definitely, yeah, they succeeded. And they had to test it out.
Oh no.
Of course.
Oh no.
To see if it worked.
I know where this is going.
Oh yeah. Members of Aum Shinrikyo headed to the Japanese city Matsumoto, where 3 judges lived who were part of a lawsuit that could go against the cult.
Yeah.
The other residents in the area had apparently signed a petition to prevent the cult from building a facility in their neighborhood. Needless to say that this angered Asahara as well.
Yeah.
So it's the 27th of June, 1994. It's a warm summer night in Matsumoto and lots of people are leaving their windows open to cool off. That evening, the cult released the sarin gas into the neighborhood through a converted refrigerator truck.
Yeah.
Around 11 p.m., police started getting reports of people being transported to the hospital with symptoms such as darkened vision, headaches, eye pain, diarrhea, numbness in their hands, and a total of 274 people were treated in the hospital that night.
Wow.
5 people were sadly found dead in their apartments, and 2 more people passed away later in the hospital.
Wow.
One person, named Sumiko Kono, was in a coma for 14 years.
14 years?
Yes. When investigating, 14 years.
14 fucking years?
Yeah.
Because of a fucking cult that releases a gas in our neighborhood?
Yeah.
I'm speechless.
When investigating the area, the police found dead fish, dogs, cats, and caterpillars.
No,
and,
obviously.
Yeah. And many trees' leaves were discolored.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It didn't really cross my mind that obviously that nature and fauna and flora also takes a beating.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And sadly, the police failed to link this attack to the cults.
Okay.
And instead focused their attention on a man named Yoshiyuki Kono, after a large amount of pesticide was found in his home.
Okay.
Because pesticide, they thought that you could make sarin gas out of pesticide, but it was later debunked.
Yeah.
You cannot exactly make sarin gas from pesticide.
Not at that scale, probably.
Kono's name was in every newspaper, on television, and so on, and he received many death threats and hate mail from the public.
Oh no, that poor man.
Yeah. And after the truth became known and his innocence was proven, he received a public apology from every single newspaper in Japan.
Okay, well, that's something.
That's something. But you remember that person who was in a coma for 14 years? Her name was Sumiko Kono.
Oh.
That was his wife.
Oh no! No!
Yeah.
Ray, why you do this to me?
I'm sorry.
You should have never made this episode.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She woke up in 2008, did not recover any speech or body movement, and sadly passed away shortly after.
Oh, I hope this episode really does good. And I hope that this is our most popular episode, because I'm not gonna do another one of these again.
It was heavy. It was really heavy. When I did the research, I had to blank out my mind. How do you say that? Because I could not think about it.
Yeah.
I wasn't I didn't allow myself to think about it too much because obviously
so fucking horrible.
it's really dark. Wow. Eventually, fingerprints from one of the cult members were found where the Matsumoto attack took place, and so the cult was finally
linked.
And the police planned a raid on the cult's facility on March 22nd, 1995. Forgot how to say 22nd for a second there. But like I said before, there were members of Aum Shinrikyo inside Japan's military forces, and they warned Asahara about the raid.
Obviously.
So before it could happen, Asahara planned an attack on the Tokyo subway station near the police station in hopes of turning the police attention away from the cult once more.
This part I know. Mm-hmm. The gas attack on the Tokyo subway, this I know.
Yeah. It's March 20th, 1995. 8 a.m., rush hour. Subways are filling up with thousands of people. And amongst those people were 5 cult members who split up and each used a different train. Each of them were carrying a package wrapped in newspaper. The package held plastic bags of liquid sarin. They boarded the train and gently placed the packages on the ground next to them. They were ordered to get off at the next stop. Right before getting off the train, they would puncture the bags with their umbrellas, which would leak the sarin. The members of the cult would be picked up by a car right outside of the station, and they would head back to the Aum Shinrikyo headquarters. Meanwhile, the liquid sarin would quickly start to evaporate inside the trains, and people started to inhale the deadly nerve gas. Symptoms came up fast. People started coughing blood, they would have muscle spasms, blood would come out of their noses and ears as well. It took 3 stops before a passenger hit the emergency stop button, but the train stopped in the middle of a tunnel and was forced to continue to the next station, which was Kasumigaseki Station. In the meantime, many people kept entering the trains, and others quickly left but still suffered many bad symptoms of the sarin gas. Once they arrived at the next station, the police were called and people were asked to evacuate the train station. So at first they were like, it's a bomb attack or something, they weren't really sure what was going on.
But who would have,
yeah.
Who thinks about a gas attack in a huge crowded
Exactly.
Metro station.
So people, this is not in my written research, but I actually know this. So workers from the station started like cleaning up the gas, like the liquid sarin, not knowing what it was.
Oh no.
Obviously doing
their job.
They're doing their job, but like
not knowing.
Yeah, it really hurt them a lot. And at that exact time, 14 people died, and 54 were in critical condition, and 688 more people were transported to the hospital right after the attack. In total,
so much people.
Not in total, even more, nearly 5,000 more people reached the hospitals on their own. Most people suffered from shortness of breath, vision problems, muscle spasms.
Yeah.
And after the attack, actually many people went to work despite their symptoms because they didn't realize what had really happened.
Yeah, they just thought it was a...
Like some of the symptoms are headaches, you know? You just think it's a headache. And if you weren't at the station where the worst things happened, you didn't see what happened, you would just think
it's just a
something
headache.
happened and I have a headache.
Who doesn't get a headache?
When they saw what happened later on the news, they would go to the hospital anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, in total those are over 5,000 people. Witnesses actually said that the subway station looked like a battlefield. Yeah. And eventually this was filed as the biggest terrorist attack in Japan after World War II. I have photos. They're not super graphic. I'm gonna show them to you.
I want to see.
I mean, they're graphic, but it's not. It depends.
No, it's not.
It depends on what you can handle.
Yeah.
So you can see that there's blood from her ear.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just like... This is only the small area. You can see so many people just lying there. Luckily alive, but like very hurt.
Wow.
This one.
Okay, I can really see the connection with the battlefield.
Yeah.
It really looks like it's just a bunch of people who were shot down.
And this was after when they cleaned. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Completely gas mask. Yeah.
Wow, if that is all a liquid of saran gas, that's a lot of liquid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. It's probably
maybe it's
also water,
another solution that they
or
put
whatever.
on it.
Yeah.
But still.
Wow. I know, crazy, right? The last victim, I mean, so far, I guess, passed away on March 10th, 2020.
Last year.
Yeah, after being bedridden for 25 years after the attack.
Yeah, it's a nerve gas.
Yeah. Imagine, bedridden. The fuck. And every year, a memorial takes place at Kasumi Kaseki Station. So if I ever were to visit Japan, I actually would like to go there and pay some respect. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Like, just not necessarily on the date, but if I could go there and pay my respects, I mean, I would love to do that.
Yeah, I would also love to do that.
Over the next few weeks, many cult members were arrested for various offenses. More people got hurt and more attacks were planned. On the 23rd of April 1995, the head of Aum Shinrikyo Science Department, Hideo Murai, was stabbed to death outside the cult's headquarters in Tokyo. This happened in front of a crowd of 10 police officers and 100 reporters, and it also happened on live television.
Wow!
The man who stabbed him was Hiroyuki Jo, or Yo, I'm not sure, a Korean member of the Yamaguchi Gumi, also known as Japan's largest Yakuza organization.
Whoa! Yakuza?
Yeah. Hiroyuki didn't flee the scene and was peacefully arrested. He was just like, I don't give a shit if I get arrested, this man needs to die. Maybe he's right.
Wow.
So, yeah. I was kind of like, well, this Hideo Murai was
It says a lot about the cult if the fucking Yakuza is trying to handle the situation.
And I'm gonna tell you something, why I am so insensitive about the death of Hideo Murai. he was one of the members responsible for the Sakamoto family murder, so I'm not sad about him being dead.
No.
He was also apparently the number 3 person in Aum leadership.
Wow.
So he was really high up in the cult.
He was fucking Goebbels.
Yeah, so...
Well, the world's not the worst place.
But yeah, I mean,
gone.
I don't know if he had business. Like the motive of Hiroyuki was unknown, so we don't know if Murai had ties to the Yakuza, and we don't know if it had anything to do with the cult. But like you said, if the Yakuza is like stepping up, yeah.
You don't fuck with the Yakuza.
No.
That's so...
No, you don't.
We know that, and we've never been to Japan.
Exactly.
You know there's spas and bath places that
Where
you and I
nope.
wouldn't even be able to
I
go
know
in.
that. Because we have tattoos.
Because we have tattoos.
And tattoos are linked to the Yakuza.
Yeah.
I know. This actually was a thing for a very long time in Japan. I mean, it still is.
It's still taboo, and it's
getting better.
It's starting to get better,
yeah.
so probably if both of us would go to a public bathhouse or just a private bathhouse, we might still find places where we could go.
There are some places.
There's some places
not
that
many.
Not many.
So, yeah. So yeah, by now it was very, very clear that the cult was responsible for all these attacks. And this time they would not get away with it. On May 16th, 1995, Shoko Asahara was found hiding in a secret room in one of the cult's complexes and was arrested. He was eventually charged for 23 murders and 16 other offenses. He was found guilty of being the mastermind behind all the attacks and was sentenced to death.
Sentenced to death?
Yeah. Which apparently doesn't happen that much in Japan.
It does. Japan still have the death penalty?
It does still have the death penalty, but it does not
enforce it.
It doesn't carry it out a lot. Enforce it, yeah. So Shoko Asahara, along with all of his loyal followers, so obviously not the victims, were sentenced to death row. It was only now that the locations of the Sakamoto family's bodies were revealed and found. Yeah. The news station that initially leaked the interview with Susumi Sakamoto to the cult was now receiving a lot of backlash from the public. Obviously. They did I saw the apology video and I was just like, dude, you can never make this right.
That's just you stop doing whatever you're doing and just go into obscurity.
Yeah.
That's something you don't...
Exactly.
Wow.
Because it was actually the leaked interview that resulted in the death of the Sakamoto family.
I'm still not over the Sakamoto family murder.
No, it's horrible. And I mean, killing someone is bad, but the way they kill... come on, man.
Boy, 16 months old.
Yeah, what the fuck? Just...
Okay, it's not...
Let's continue.
Let's not bum ourselves too much. I'm not gonna cry again.
Shoko Asahara and 6 other cult members were executed by hanging on July 6th, 2018.
That's
very recent. Yeah. So he actually lived for quite a long time.
Yeah.
In prison. But he did now.
20 years. 23 years. He was convicted in 1995,
1995,
right? Yeah, 23 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. It's because his family also part of his family really pleaded for not getting the death penalty and stuff. So Asahara was cremated, but his ashes remain at the detention center out of fear that the ashes would be handed over to the cult by these family members and would result into an item of worship by the cult.
Okay, that's pretty smart.
Yeah. Also, are you noticing anything? We're talking about 2018 right now. Yeah. Think about it.
What do you mean, 2018?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very curious what you're
And they're still worried that it would be an item of worship by the cult.
You mean that it's just so recent that the cult is still active and that they're still worshipping him.
Yeah. Maybe. We're getting to that.
Oh, God.
We're almost done.
Enough with the fucking foreshadowing.
Kinda like doing that.
Yeah, I know. You did it 5 times already.
So like I mentioned in the beginning, Asahara had 6 children with this one woman. Well, it ended up being 12 children. However, I'm not sure when or with who that happened.
Yeah.
One of his younger daughters wishes to collect the ashes and throw them over the Pacific Ocean, so no one could get their hands on them. This daughter, who wants to stay anonymous, has spoken about her time within the cult. She says that she not once referred to Asahara as dad. By the time she was 3 years old, she lived by herself in a room with no windows. Once her younger brother was born, her mother would turn to her and say, "There's no longer room for you here." She's 3 years old.
Okay.
I mean, or around that age at least.
That won't leave a
That's
mark.
still young, yeah.
That won't leave a mark. That's good and healthy for a child.
Exactly. She stated that she had to eat eggs with broken pieces of pod in them.
Broken pieces of pod?
Yeah, like a flower pod.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's like what I heard.
Huh? So bizarre.
Yes, so, yeah. But,
okay.
yeah.
Then she ate eggs with pod in them.
Apparently.
Okay.
So, and sometimes she had to stand outside in the cold for hours. This abuse made her extremely scared as to what would happen if she didn't live up to her parents' wishes.
Obviously.
Yeah. In 2015, she asked to be removed as an heir to the cult and asked for protection from the police as she feared that other cult members or even her brothers and sisters would plan an attack on her.
That's 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
We keep on repeating the same things.
Yeah.
3 years ago, 6 years ago. But it's fucking 6 years ago.
Yeah. Indeed. So she was the only one of Asahara's children to support the death penalty on their father. One of the older daughters actually went on the media to say that her father was mentally ill and that he did not deserve the death penalty.
Yeah.
Needless to say, this daughter received a lot of critique.
I mean, she is correct. Her father is mentally ill.
That's correct,
Yeah,
yes.
it does not excuse his behavior or the actions
not
he
at
did,
all.
but she is correct.
She is definitely correct. I mean, she even wrote a book about it. Yeah.
Yeah, monetize the shit out of it. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. Now, if you go to Japan, apparently, and I say apparently because I've never been to Japan, there are barely any trash cans, which is remarkable because Japan is said to be a very neat country.
That's correct.
People actually take their trash with them until they either find a trash can or they take the trash home, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard that that's
Yeah.
really a cultural thing.
Now
I have
this
a feeling that you're...
Yeah, now this is actually because of the 1995 Tokyo subway attack, that most trash cans were removed in fear of another attack. Yeah. So when Barack Obama and also when Donald Trump visited Japan, all the trash cans, the few ones that are there, were sealed off with plastic to avoid any attacks.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, that's also in London.
Really?
In London, and I believe in Ireland, there's not that many trash cans around.
Huh.
And I've heard that that's because of the IRA bombings,
Oh.
the Irish Republican Army.
Yeah.
When I was a fair bit younger, I think about 10, 15 years ago, first time I went to London, I went on a tour. The tour guide said that there were not a lot of trash cans in London. There was regularly not that much trash around, like boxes. Like we have when they go collect the boxes, like the cardboard boxes. When they collect cardboard boxes every week, they really don't do that there because there were still some frightened. There were still some scares about the IRA bombing.
I mean, makes sense. I mean, I've been to London and Ireland. I didn't
You don't
notice it.
You don't really notice
yeah.
it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I actually don't
could
know.
still be me confidently being correct.
Could be, but
Yeah, that's the information that I got.
yeah. Thank you for sharing that information.
Okay.
So till this day, Aum Shinrikyo still exists, even though it's under a different name. The cult split up into two groups, Aleph and Hikari no Wa, which stands for Circle of Light. Both cults claim to have nothing to do with Shoko Asahara, since Aum Shinrikyo is listed as a terrorist movement in many countries.
Yeah.
Wonder why, huh? These two cults are allowed to exist, but are under heavy surveillance and deemed as dangerous religious organizations.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the story of Shoko Asahara and his evil cult, Aum Shinrikyo.
Well, normally in a situation like this, once there is a confirmed death, then I would say may he rest in peace, but I don't really think that's appropriate right now.
For Shoko Asahara?
Yeah.
No.
I really hope that...
I hope that all the karma that he absorbed, that he's getting it now, that he's in hell or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I really wouldn't know what to wish on him. I would just wish him the worst.
Yeah,
Let's just say
exactly.
that. I wish him the worst. The man has created a lot of suffering.
A lot
of pain.
Yeah.
And I hope whatever... I don't really believe in an afterlife. I don't really believe in that concept. If there is an afterlife, if there is something beyond this life, I hope he gets the worst.
Yeah. I agree on you, on that. With you on that.
Wow, okay, Ray.
So yeah.
Thank you. It's a very interesting episode, a very light-hearted episode. And
very...
I would really like to thank you for your research. It was, I mean, all jokes aside.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was really interesting.
You're welcome.
I was surprised, sort of surprised when you wanted to do a solo research episode about this topic.
Well...
And you did a great job.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Well, to be honest, I think when we talk about paranormal stuff, it's easy to divide. Like, you're gonna research this, I'm gonna research that. I honestly could not imagine us researching each, like, a part of this.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna research the cult, you need to research about Shoko Asahara.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So...
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I think it's because I feel like this, because the last case that you did alone was also a true crime.
Yeah.
And I think that with true crime, it's easier if you do not divide.
Have one person to do the research. Yeah. That's a good observation.
So that's kind of what I was thinking. And since I had already done a little bit of, I'm not gonna say like big research, but I already knew more about the cult than you, I was like, I'm gonna take on this case. So
maybe it's a good thing to do in the future.
Yeah.
If we ever do a topic that's, I wouldn't say similar, but it's in this, it's
true crime.
Yeah, if it's true crime or is it something different? I mean, we could still do it this way.
Yeah, exactly. So
we still have a few cases on our
server,
our Discord server.
Oh yeah, we do.
Where we can talk about.
How many cases do you think we got on that list?
About 50 different points. You have to
at least
you have to scroll a bit.
Yeah.
Some of them are very short things we can research. We probably will bundle them together.
Yeah.
As we will in the next episode.
Indeed.
And some of them are probably so huge that we will probably have to split them up, maybe. Because we're not going to make an episode for 4 hours.
No.
We're not going to do 3 hours.
We have been talking for 1.5 hours right now. That's insane.
You told me that you did the whole... You already...
Yeah, I practiced it before.
You practiced it at home?
And then I was talking for around 35 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So...
Well, that
was all you.
That's the hazards of having a co-host and...
Well, I think this is more fun, even though this case wasn't like a fun case, but you know what I mean? It's more fun because there are already a lot of videos, podcasts, where we just tell the story. And now I'm telling the story, but like you ask questions, we discuss the thing, we think about what actually happened there, or you know, you ask a question that I didn't think about yet, and that makes it really interesting in my opinion. So I hope you listeners feel the same way. So
so every single picture you showed me, or maybe not the ones
not the graphic ones,
not the graphic one, I mean
Instagram will ban those anyway.
We're not gonna show you any pictures of any of the there's not really that much blood on it. It doesn't really matter. We're not gonna show any pictures of any victims, so we're gonna show you pictures of the Sakamoto family, of Asahara. Those things will show. Where can our listeners find these pictures?
Oh, good question, Laurens. Damn. You can find those on our Instagram at TheyComeBeforeDawn. But we also have a link tree.
Yeah. Linktree is easier.
Yeah, it is.
Because we can...
And you can find...
you can find us
everywhere.
And you can send us an email at Gmail. Like, this is our Gmail address. You can find us on Facebook.
Gmail@gmail.com.
You can find us on Twitter. It's way easier to say. Just look us up on Linktree.
Yeah.
It's at TheyComeBeforeDawn.
Yeah.
You can find all our links there.
Exactly. And the entire case, including all the photos, will eventually be available on our website, which you can also find on the Linktree.
Yeah.
But that will take a little bit longer because I'm still working on the website. So, but it will be on there eventually.
Don't rush it.
All right. I think we can end it here. It's been a really long episode.
Okay. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much.
I hope you have a great night.
Even
I
after
really
this.
Hope, yeah. I hope you have a great night.
Yeah. Watch some cat videos on TikTok.
Yeah. Maybe cry a bit.
Yeah. And of course, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Next time on They Come Before Dawn.
Mankind has used horses for as long as we can remember. They plowed our fields and rode to battle with us. However, many legends have sprung up about these fascinating animals. Did some lure women to their death? Did some take children to their early watery grave? Next episode, we will be talking about phantom horses.